My parents expected me to pay off my spoiled sister's debt. But I said no and cut them off. I'm a 30 male and have been financially independent since I was 18. Growing up, my parents always favored my younger sister, Riley. She was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong. Meanwhile, I was expected to be the responsible one, the one who worked hard and made sacrifices for the family. I accepted it when I was younger, thinking that's just how families worked. But as I got older, I realized how toxic and unfair their expectations were. Things came to a head about 6 months ago when I received a call from my mother. She started with small talk, which was unusual for her. Normally, she only called me when she needed something. I braced myself, knowing that whatever was coming wasn't good. "Your sister is in trouble," she said, her voice dripping with urgency. I sighed. "What kind of trouble?" "She's racked up some debt," my mother admitted. "A lot of debt. How much are we talking about?" I asked, already dreading the answer. $40,000, she said, as if it were pocket change. "She got involved with some bad people, and now they're threatening her. We need you to step in and help." I was stunned. Why is this my problem? Riley is a grown adult. She's responsible for her own choices. "She's your sister," my mother snapped, her tone immediately turning accusatory. "Family helps each other. You've done so well for yourself, and she's struggling. The least you can do is help her out." I took a deep breath, trying to stay calm. "I've worked hard for everything I have. I'm not bailing her out of a mess she created." My mother wasn't having it. "You have no idea how hard it's been for her. She's not as strong as you. If you don't help, they'll come after her. Do you want that on your conscience?" This wasn't the first time my parents had tried to guilt trip me into cleaning up Riley's messes. When she dropped out of college, they pressured me to pay off her tuition debt. When she crashed her car, they wanted me to buy her a new one. Each time, I had drawn a line, but this was on a whole new level. "Where's Dad in all of this?" I asked. "He agrees with me," she said quickly. "We both think it's your responsibility to help. After all, we've done so much for you." That line sent me over the edge. "Done so much for me?" I repeated, incredulous. "You mean like making me pay for my own college, charging me rent as soon as I turn 18, and always putting us ahead of me? Is that what you mean?" My mother went silent for a moment, then said coldly, "If you don't help, we'll have no choice but to cut you off." I laughed bitterly. "Cut me off? From what?" "I don't rely on you for anything. You don't understand," my mother said sharply. "We'll disown you. No family gatherings, no holidays, nothing. Do you really want that?" "I think you're forgetting something," I replied calmly. "I've been on my own for years. You're threatening me with something I don't even value anymore." Before she could respond, I hung up. I knew there would be fallout, but I was done being their scapegoat. It was time to put myself first. The next few weeks were tense. My parents and Riley tried every manipulative tactic they could think of. First, there were guilt-laden messages. "How can you turn your back on your family?" Then came the outright insults. "You're selfish, ungrateful, and heartless." Finally, they started spreading lies to extended family, painting me as the villain who refused to help his struggling sister. It didn't bother me as much as they hoped. In fact, I took satisfaction in knowing they couldn't manipulate me anymore. But things escalated when Riley decided to take matters into her own hands. One day, I got a call from my bank. Someone had tried to access my accounts using forged documents. My stomach churned as the banker explained that the attempt had been flagged as suspicious, and they wanted to confirm it with me. "Do you have any idea who might have done this?" the banker asked. I didn't need to think twice. "Yes," I said, seething. "I know exactly who it was. I confronted Riley that same day." "You tried to steal from me?" I demanded, showing up unannounced at her apartment. Her eyes widened, but she quickly put on an indignant act. "I don't know what you're talking about." "Cut the crap," I snapped. "The bank flagged your attempt. Do you have any idea how illegal that is?" She crossed her arms, pouting like a child. "You're the one who forced me into this. If you had just helped me, I wouldn't have had to do it." Her entitlement was mind-blowing. "Do you even hear yourself?" I said, You dug yourself into this hole, and now you think it's my job to bail you out? Grow up, Riley. She glared at me, then said something that made my blood boil. Mom and Dad said you'd never let me struggle. They told me you'd come around if I pushed hard enough. It was clear that my parents were enabling her behavior. They had always coddled her, and now they were complicit in her attempts to steal from me. I left her apartment without another word, but my resolve to cut them out of my life grew stronger. The final straw came a week later when my parents showed up at my door. They didn't call or text, just appeared uninvited. I opened the door to find my mother looking indignant and my father standing silently behind her. "This has gone far enough," my mother said, pushing past me into the house. "We need to talk." I crossed my arms and leaned against the wall. "I think everything that needs to be said has already been said." "No," she snapped. "You need to stop this nonsense and take responsibility for your family. Riley is your sister, and you owe it to her to help." "I owe her nothing," I said firmly, "and you need to stop enabling her. She's an adult who needs to face the consequences of her actions." My father, who had been silent until now, finally spoke up. "You're being unreasonable. Do you think we like asking you for help? This is about family loyalty." "No," I said, my voice rising. "This is about you always putting Riley first, no matter how much she screws up. It's about you treating me like a walking ATM while she gets a free pass for everything. I'm done with it." My mother's face turned red. "Fine," she spat. "If you want to act like this, don't expect us to be there for you when you need us." "I've never needed you," I replied coldly. "And after this, I never will." I walked to the door and held it open. "You can leave now." They left, but not without a parting shot. My mother turned back and said, "You'll regret this. Family is everything, and you're throwing it away." "Family isn't supposed to treat you like this," I said quietly before shutting the door in her face. Over the next few weeks, I blocked their numbers and cut off all contact. I told mutual friends and extended family what had happened, providing proof of Riley's attempted fraud. Most people were supportive, but a few tried to convince me to make peace for the sake of the family. One relative even said, "But they're your parents. You can't just cut them off." "Watch me," I replied. I wasn't going to let guilt or societal expectations drag me back into their toxicity. Riley predictably spiraled further. Without my financial support, she had to face her creditors alone. I heard through the grapevine that she had to sell her car and move out of her apartment. My parents, meanwhile, continued to badmouth me to anyone who would listen, but their lies carried little weight once people learned the full story. Months passed, and I felt a sense of peace I hadn't experienced in years. Cutting off my parents and Riley was the hardest decision I'd ever made, but it was also the most liberating. For once, I wasn't weighed down by their endless demands or manipulative tactics. I could focus on myself, my career, and my future. But then, just as I thought the drama was over, my parents tried one last desperate move. I received a letter in the mail from a lawyer claiming that they were considering legal action against me. Their claim? That I had a moral obligation to support the family and pay Riley's debts. It was laughable, but it also showed how far they were willing to go to exploit me. I forwarded the letter to my own lawyer, who assured me they had no legal grounds for their claims. "Let them try," he said with a chuckle. "They'll embarrass themselves in court." Sure enough, nothing came of their threat. But it was a reminder of how toxic they were, and it only reinforced my decision to go no contact. They had burned every bridge, and there was no coming back from that. As for Riley, I later heard she had to file for bankruptcy. Her entitled attitude and refusal to take responsibility finally caught up with her. My parents, who had spent years enabling her, were now left to deal with the fallout. I felt no pity for them. They had made their choices, and now they were living with the consequences. In the end, I realized that family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by the people who truly care about you and treat you with respect. My parents and Riley never did, and cutting them out of my life was the best thing I could have done for myself. If you've ever dealt with toxic family members, you know how hard it can be to walk away. But trust me, it's worth it. Don't let guilt keep you trapped in a cycle of manipulation. Thank you so much for listening to my story. If you have any thoughts, I'd love to hear them. So please leave a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more stories like this one.